sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, do you want to have a kick-ass t-shirt? Do you want to support your law enforcement? Go to reaver.1/shop. Pick up the Blue Lives Matter t-shirt. Brain fart, brain fart, brain fart. See, I hate doing this sales. I really do, because I always get tongue-tied. I don't know what the hell to say. Listen, go to reaver.1/shop. Got some great t-shirts. Got some great survival bracelets. Even got pocket constitutions. Check it out and let me know. So, they got a hearing over the email server going on, and of course Republicans are asking questions, and the Democrats are apologizing and kissing ass. You know, if the Democrats actually did their fucking job, maybe our government wants to be goddamn screwed up. I'm getting so sick of this. Jesus Christ, the Democrats could go out and murder somebody. And yes, I know I'm repeating something they've done, but it's the truth. They could go out and murder somebody, and they would make every goddamn excuse. Pisses me off. So sick of this shit. They see the world going to hell, and they're helping just to push it along a little bit further. And this isn't right-left. This is they're complacent. And it proves that they're not doing what's best for the people. They're doing what's best for their party. And this is the party that went after Nixon over 18 minutes. Yeah, we got fucking over 15,000 emails missing, and they think it's a goddamn joke. I don't see how people can elect these same criminals over and fucking over again. It just pisses me off. Right off the start of the show. It's got me aggravated. But on a little light note, I don't know if I want to say it's a light note or what. Tim Kaine says he's ready to become president if necessary. While introducing Democrat Vice President nominee Tim Kaine at a high school in Dayton on Monday, former Ohio Governor Ted Strickland raised eyebrows by stressing that Kaine is ready to become the president if Hillary Clinton proves unable to serve. That's one scary, scary-ass thought. That'd be like Al Gore becoming... I don't even know. Al Gore... I don't know. That's a toss-up. That's a toss-up. But Kaine... I don't know. Just something about him. And I'm not knocking his looks, but something about the way he looks just makes me feel something's not right. Something's not right. You ever get that awkward feeling when you look at someone going, something's not, no. And you can't put the finger out. That's Kaine. I can't put the finger on it. The Times says this sounded a little awkward since Clinton is recovering from pneumonia after collapsing on Sunday. However, the paper assured reader that Strickland wasn't specifically referring to Clinton's current state of health. Clinton did specifically address Clinton's health with reporters during his visit to Stiver High School, according to the Columbus Dispatch. Secretary Clinton, by all reports, is a healthy person. Yes, because remember, people, she opened a jar of pickles. Oh, wait a minute. We got... Oh, I thought Dowdy was talking. Legal team about the Paglioni coming up and testifying, but he's testifying and he's actually answering questions, which is like, holy shit. But yeah, they're trying to say that Hillary is a healthy person. That is not goddamn pneumonia. Her collapse is not pneumonia. And anybody that believes that, well, please call me at 813-518-5630 because I got a fucking bridge to sell you. I want to sell you a bridge. And yes, I have more than one of them, so if there's more than one people that want to call in to buy it, I'll be more than glad to sell more than one bridge to you. If you think Clinton is healthy, and if you think this is just pneumonia, and no, this isn't an attack on Clinton. How dare people? Now, I'm not a doctor, but I've worked medical field for 20 plus years as an emergency medical personnel. And that person, that's neurological. That is a neurological issue. And if it's not nothing major, why doesn't she come forward with it? That's the thing. If it's seizures, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if it's seizures? I would not count that against her. I wouldn't. It is not that big of a deal in today's day and age. I mean, for the people that have it, it's a big deal. But I mean, it's not that stigma that it used to have years ago. So I wouldn't be that concerned with a president that would have. We've had presidents with worse diseases than that. Oh, damn. And it doesn't help you have President Clinton out there and others trying to make all these bullshit excuses, throwing out every bullshit excuse there is, and making it sound like a more of a cover-up than it already is. You have Clinton going, I did dehydration. She's dehydrated. She's working her butt off. She's dehydrated. I see that woman drinking water nonstop. She is worse than a horse when it comes to drinking water. Or is it a camel? No, a horse. I know I'm not calling her a horse. That's the funny part. You get so many people that don't know these older expressions. It's just, I got the sniffles today too, so sorry. Something is going on with her health. Everybody with more than an IQ higher than 10 understands it. A lot of us don't really care, but the fact that she's hiding it says there's something worse going on. It's logic. It's called logic. If it's nothing that's major, you wouldn't hide it. But the fact that you have to hide it tells me, well, it's something major. I don't know. It's all too hocus pocus. And they think they're smarter than everybody, the Clinton campaign and Hillary. They think they're smarter than everybody else, and they can go and do all this bullshit. But guess what? Psst. We're not that dumb. We can figure out what's going on. We can see that you're throwing out bullshit excuses. And they think, well, if we just tell them, they're going to believe it. No. You're in a day and age of information right at your fingertips. Everything is at your fingertips. Jesus, medical information is at your fingertips. It's not like years ago where you could put out a BS doctor to go out there. Yeah, this is just pneumonia. She kind of had a syncope episode and almost passed out and Now people would be like, oh no, that's not the going through every single thing that diagnosed of pneumonia. It's not today. You can't do that. And I don't know what the hell they're thinking. Maybe this is the playbook of Bill Clinton that they're trying to use. I'm starting to wonder that. This is the campaign of Bill Clinton. That would explain a lot. Because they think they can just run some excuses out there. And nobody's going to question it because, well, there's no way to fact check it. Well, today's day and age, you can fact check anything. She can keep up with her bullshit because she keeps handing Trump She keeps helping his campaign by pulling all this bullshit. That's the funny thing is. And I find it funny. She's handing him ammunition. By the polls, and I know they're all weak, but by the polls, she was up by a major amount, which... And she went, hey, here's a can of ammo to use against me. Go ahead and shoot me. Shoot my campaign down. And now she just keeps going, here you go, here's more. And he's just sitting back on, okay, I'm going to act nice and calm, and I'm going to keep hitting. He's doing it perfect. My supporters, you went after Americans. You attacked Americans. And in some ways, he's being smart because he's using some of the Democrat playbook against the Democrat, which is finally smart. I mean, he's not playing dirty like the Democrats have done, but he's using some of that playbook against them. And he's throwing it right back at them, and they're just sitting there like, what do we do? How do shit? Racist, race. That's not working. Sexist, Islamophobia, xenophobe. Can I buy a vowel? Nothing is working. It's because everybody's seen their playbook. And it's kind of new for Republicans to be doing this. And you got a lot of Republicans going, yes, finally. A candidate with some balls. A candidate that is going to go back at them. Because we've seen it with Mitt Romney. We've seen it with McCain. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a racist. I'm not a xenophobe. And they would have been spending the next 3 years chasing that. Remember when Romney got called a racist? And he spent the rest of the time chasing that? Especially when he adopted a black kid? Should have thrown that harder and more vicious in her face. But no, I got a black kid. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. Nope. He should have been going right back at, this is what it hurts the race relationships. There's so many ways he could have gone at it. And this is what Trump is doing. Trump is attacking back. And this, we got to play the higher ground. Well, it's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to get us anything by going the higher ground. You can't win elections that way anymore. It just doesn't work. This isn't the 1930s. And you play the higher ground? No, it don't work. Because people are going to believe the smut that goes on. And I'm back to the original article of Kane. I'm ready to become a president. Oh, Lord. Damn. That'd be scary as hell. Kane, president. Wasn't able to do it, so now Kane's stepping in. Kane steps up to the plate, and he trips and falls. Oh. It's going to be a long, long day. Long day. Oh. I mean, seriously, we got to hold the Democrats' feet to the fire. We got to make them just keep going at it with them and not back down. Let's see where we're at. Where are we at? And this has really got me laughing. And I'm glad they're seeing it. I'm glad they're offended by it. But you know what? They've stood by the same people that pulled this shit for decades now. And now they're getting a taste of it and they don't like it. And I'm glad to see it because they're seeing for their own eyes what the true Democrats' political machine does. And you have those Trumpocrats. And it's a bunch of Democrats that are backing Donald Trump. And they're demanding Hillary Clinton apologize for insulting elitist hate speech she used in a deplorable act. Trumpocrat PACT Executive Director Christine Rickers is demanding that Hillary Clinton, the Democratic nominee for president, offer an unconditional apology to the millions of Americans she insulted on Friday night, including Democrats like himself, when she called them a basket of deplorables. Trumpocrat PACT, tongue-tied, demands that Hillary Clinton offer a clear, unequivocal apology to the hundreds of thousands of Democrats, independents, and other voters who are supporting Donald Trump. Ricker said in a statement that will be released shortly and was provided to Breitbart News ahead of its public release. He added, her insulting, elitist hate speech is directed at those who disagree with her globalist policy, which have laid waste on vast areas of our country, from the mills and mines of Pennsylvania to rusting auto manufacturing facilities in Ohio to shuttered factories in Virginia and North Carolina. Clinton's policies have stripped workers of their dignity and destroyed families by exporting jobs and leaving communities with no hope for the future. Millions of Americans have valid reasons to oppose her candidacy and her globalist policy. They are not deplorable. They are Trumpocrats. Ricker's statement comes in response to Hillary Clinton's attack on at least half of Donald Trump's supporters, millions of people whom she labeled irredeemable and in the basket of deplorable, who are racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. Ricker runs an organization, Trumpocrats. Holy shnikes. Tongue-tied. Representing hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of Democrats nationwide who are leaving their party in masses to instead vote for Donald Trump, the Republican nominee for president. Rickers is a lifelong Democrat and voted for Senator Bernie Sanders in the Democrat primary in Virginia. And like many other Trumpocrats, has not supported a Republican until Hillary Clinton became the Democrat nominee, and Trump offered such disaffected Democrats a way out of their party. The PAC is leading efforts in key swing states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, Michigan, Wisconsin, and others to free Democrats from the Democrat Party under Clinton and to encourage them to vote for Trump for president. In addition to calling out Hillary Clinton for her deplorable comment, for which she has still not apologized, she's regretted but not apologized, saying about half of Trump's supporters, while declining to specify exactly how many Americans she thinks are deplorable. Ricker's team has also released a video going after her husband, former Bill Clinton, for attacking the coal people across America. Gotta understand, they don't give a shit. They think it's owed to them. They think this is in the bag. No one's going to stop them. It's their destiny. It's their right. It's owed to Hillary. And Bill Clinton sitting there going, whoo-hoo, my wife will be so busy, I'll be able to screw any intern I want. Because he's going to get interns again, people. Think about that. If Hillary's elected president, he's going to get interns again. He's going to be sexually assaulting women in masses again. And there's people that are voting that in. All right, we're going to go over another quick article and then head to break. This one, it just... Has anybody heard of Pat Oswalt? He's supposed to be a comedian, and he's pretty big on Twitter. He was on Kings or Queens show. He was the lead character's, I think, brother or cousin or something, and he was like the unwanted idiot that nobody wants to talk to. And that pretty much sums up Pat Oswalt. Well, he's defending Hillary Clinton over concerns about her health on Sunday, calling it badass that the Democrat presidential campaign is campaigning as hard as she is after being diagnosed with pneumonia on Friday. So he thinks it's badass that she's going out there hugging and pawing all over these people, infecting thousands of people, millions of people. And yes, as I say millions, because you affect one person, that person could then affect 5, 10, 15, 20 people, and it just keeps spreading and spreading. He thinks it's badass for her to be going out there and affecting others. Great job, you dumbass. So he's sitting there, oh, wait, so Hillary has pneumonia and she's still campaigning as hard as she is? You realize how badass that is? No, that's called a dumbass. That is called a dumbass. Nothing is worth putting your health at risk. And going around doing that with pneumonia, if she had pneumonia, could kill her. You're telling me that's the smart thing to do? You half-witted nerf herder. Oh, my God. It just... Concerns about the candidate's health received renewed attention Sunday after Clinton collapsed. He is an ass kisser. You can see it. The guy has no set of balls to stand up and be a person, let alone a man. Oh my God, these fucking actors, they think everybody is just going to listen to them. And that's why they get Hollywood all involved. They'll follow along and they'll listen. No, they won't. We're not going to just blindly go along because some half-witted actor says that Hillary, that's a badass. No, it isn't. It's sick. It's deplorable. It's disgusting. And she's putting other people's lives at risk for her own gain. This guy's a little weird. I'm looking over some of his tweets, and it's, oh my God, he's a little weird. Yeah. He's a big bag of special, I'll tell you that. All right. But you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising. Oh, what else? YouTube, Speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, at Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. Or at least trying. The Jersey takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. That is REAVER.ONE/SHOP. Right now I'm just flipping through Twitter just for some entertainment. Some of the tweets that some people. Iran has threatened to shoot down U.S. military. Don't worry, it's just their quirky way of saying they need it. Someone that has it's a parody account of the White House press secretary and says, Iran has just threatened to shoot down U.S. military plans. Don't worry, it's just their quirky way of saying they need more cash. I that's one I don't understand, you know. Really, Obama can't be that fucking stupid to see what Iran's doing and still sit there and keep justifying. And so many times he could have went just, shit, you know what? I trusted him. I screwed up. Let's take him down. Let's throw every sanction we could find on him now. They made me look like an idiot. And instead, he goes, oh, they like us. Don't worry. Oh. It just, oh boy. Just flipping through, seeing what's going on. So, all right, let's actually get back to some cold news, even though it's nothing new in the news anymore. It's the same old shit day after day. Let's see where we are. This one kind of pissed me off. And it's not happening here in the United States. This is over in Europe. They had that big migrant crisis that's going on in Europe. Invasion, for most people call it. And you got so many that are getting allowed to go into these countries under refugee status that they had to flee from their country for danger. Now, these people are so scared of their country, and there's so much danger involved in their prior country, And for anyone that doesn't know that in Europe, a lot of countries, I don't know which ones, I'm not going to get into it, but they are given money to go on vacation every year. All citizens are given money to go on vacation. So what are these migrants doing with their vacation? Going back to their home countries that they fled from with paid vacations from the countries that gave them refugee status because they had to leave their country because the conditions were so bad and dangerous. Sounds to me that Germany, because this especially with Germany, got fucked over. And then, let me tell you, Merkel, she didn't care. She never cared to begin with. She's loving it. For whatever reason, however, and I got my ideas, and I'm pretty sure she's being paid off by George Soros. Why else would she ruin her own country? Taking a huge risk, especially when the people started standing up and telling her no, and she just ignored it, to the point now she's destroyed her party, let alone her country. I don't get it. But migrants would recognize refugee status or holidaying, vacationing, in the countries they supposedly fled with the vacation funded by German taxpayers, a newspaper has found out. Newspaper, not even going to attempt that. Here, let's get my other wife on the line. I should just have this up from now on. I don't speak German. I love this little program. Makes my lazy ass sound a little bit better. That's the name of the paper. Now they just blew out my freaking eardrums. That migrants are returning to countries such as Syria, Afghanistan, and Lebanon for holiday purposes, then traveling back to Germany, where they continue to receive comfortable welfare payments. The Federal Office of Migration and Refugee has been aware for some time that some recognized refugees are taking leisure trips to the very spot they claim their lives are in danger. Well, if your life is in such goddamn danger, you don't go vacationing back in that area. Well, people are still going to Walt Disney, so, but no one's claiming refugee status from Walt Disney. Well, then again, I'm pretty sure there's employees going, please, help us. It's not a small world anymore. The government body sent a written request to Berlin's employment agency in June asking that they report the travel arrangements of migrants granted asylum holidays in their countries of origin. A spokesman for the Federal Employee Agency confirmed that there are such cases but reports that there is no analysis or statistics on this subject, and therefore we do not have information. Which isn't that hard, okay? You cross-reference foreign travel with refugees who are getting this money, and voila. It's that easy. The lack of information is down to data protection laws, but people who are familiar with the process report that is also happening in other regions of Germany. The welfare system migrants granted asylum receive allows 21 days per year local absent where receipts collect full welfare payment while away from their usual area. Receivers of Hertz IV must notify the local absence, the expected duration, but not exactly where they go to federal agencies, adding that there is also no legal basis to determine this information. The newspaper reported that even if the migrants told Welfare Central staff he was taking a trip to Syria, the data protection laws would prevent this information being passed on to federal agencies. German Interior Minister indicates that European Union rules state that travel to so-called countries of prosecutions can lead to individual cases being looked at and ultimately asylum being withdrawn. A spokesman from the ministry said there may be reasonable grounds for such trips, such as family members' serious health. In the case, however, to travel for leisure purpose, this may be an indication that for the refugee, no fear of prosecution exists. The chairman of the Chancellor Merkel's Christian Democratic Union Party said it leaves one almost speechless that migrants are holidaying in countries they supposedly fled quality for asylum. I am dumbfounded. That takes balls, and that's a big F-U to Germany. That's a big one that just said, screw you. We don't give a shit what you think. Thank you for giving us all this money. Now we're going to do whatever the hell we want. And everybody just sits there quietly. I cannot believe that Merkel burned down her career and burned down her country for this. She better got paid a pretty goddamn penny. A pretty penny. It's... I'm amazed. The people, it seems, said it before, no, I'm going to bring it up again. It seems the people are getting tired of the bullshit worldwide. That this socialist movement that swept the world, and that people are getting tired of it, and those in power are not doing too good. Problem is, they've infected too many people with this sickness and brainwashed them into thinking that socialism is such a great idea. As a lot of things, it's a great idea on paper that, yes, you should be able to help anybody and everybody should be equal. In reality of life, it doesn't work out that way. And it's funny because the people that are pushing for this socialist agenda and want everybody to be equal are exempt and don't want anybody to be equal to them. They want to keep their stature. It just, I don't know. Sometimes I think this world's just gone totally fucking nuts. Or, to my other end, we've woken up in a parallel universe where it seems that good is bad, bad is good. Police officers and laws are bad, criminals are good. Well, I've known that one for a long time. Only criminals get justice. That's why it's called criminal justice. Where American way is evil, freedom is evil, free speech is to be done away with. And I hope to hell Obama is happy for what he's done. He's transformed this country from a once great country into a driveling pile of arguments. It just, I don't know. We are at a, and we've been for a while now, we've been at a crossroads in this country. And we better do something soon. I don't know. It's It scares me what I see and what I'm leaving my daughter. I'm not leaving my daughter a better planet or a better country than what I had. What I grew up in, she's not going to have right now. And that's... It scares me. Because I never expected this big of a shit stain of a country. And I'm getting tired of, well, if you speak negative. I'm not speaking negative about the country. Our country was great. What our current administration has done has destroyed it. And maybe you're happy with the shit stain that it's become. I'm not. And I'm going to keep fighting. Maybe shit stain's a little drastic. It's just, oh my God, I can't believe we've actually gone this far. I don't know. I do not know, Sam. I do not know with green eggs and ham. Let me see. There we go. Looking over some articles real quick and get back to where we're going instead of my drivel. We are... I know the Democrats are not going to go down with a fight, and I think there's more people that are dissatisfied, and some of the polls out there are showing that the people do not like the direction of the country. They know the shitstorm that we're in. And so many more are quiet about that with their opinions. They're afraid to speak up. And that's sad that they're afraid to speak up to our government that we have now. Sometimes I worry about doing my show. You know, we all joke about it. Guys at SHR and all of us that are all connected with different radio shows, we all joke that we're on a government list. We know we are. With Obama, he hates shows like this because he can't control them. He hates that there's this free flow of thought, free flow of information, and he cannot control it. And what do you think his internet plan is? Why he wants to give control up? Because he knows here in America, we're never going to give up control. So he had to give it up to the UN, where other countries can start controlling the internet and interfering with free flow of information. And what is it? October 1st, it's supposed to be handed over to the UN. And the UN's going to destroy our internet. I don't know why we had to. And what's funny is they're always talking about Democrats are against privatization. Why does all of a sudden this jackass of a president want to hand everything over to the UN and basically privatize everything? He has tried to push an oversight of our police force by the UN police. He's wanted to create a federal police force, and he's in the starting stages of it. And there's still people that don't think there's nothing nefarious going on here. Well, some people need to open their eyes because there's a lot going on. And just screaming that it's a tinfoil hat does not make it tinfoil hat. Does not make it a conspiracy theory. That is just the way of the Democrats stopping a conversation from happening. That's their new one. That's like their racist and xenophobe, homophobe, Islamophobe, sexist, all that. Is they scream, it's just a conspiracy. And it deflates the legitimacy of the subject. Yeah. Scream what you want. Doesn't mean I'm going to shut up and the others are going to shut up. We're going to keep going. Because people are waking up to the Democrat bullshit. I mean, we are 5-10 years behind Europe. Obama tried speeding that timeline up, and he's been trying to usher in the Muslim invasion. And I don't get these leaders that are helping with it. I can understand Obama, but Merkel? You know, all these European leaders? Besides making money off George Soros, there's got to be something bigger that they're going to prosper from. Because I don't see how anything could benefit them now with a mass invasion. Because any type of assimilation type deal is going to take decades. Something's just... I don't know. Something's just not adding up with all that to me. And I haven't put my finger on what. But we're not far behind Europe and any type of invasion. We got them at Mexico border, and Mexico's just letting them flood in. In fact, they're helping them get in this country. And you're going to see a larger invasion force on its way. Because that's what it is. It's invasion. When you can't come in legally, well, when you come in illegally, and in mass droves, that's called an invasion. It's not immigration, that's invasion. And I don't know what, I don't have any answer, anything to go from there. I mean, it's easy to point out. Yes, it's easy to point out all the issues. But coming up with the answers is the ones that can be the real dogfight. But it's something that we're going to have to do as a people. And the first part of that is making sure that Hillary does not become president. She does not get elected. We got to make sure that the Democrats do not take control of Congress at all. The Republicans have let us down. But if we have a Republican president, a Republican-controlled Congress, we could start changing this country around and getting the country back on track. Getting the country out of this time, maybe not time warp, but alternate universe. Get out of reversal world and go back to being a leader. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, iTunes, YouTube, and Speaker. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the Unpleasant Blind Guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Oh, totally screwed that up. But yes, go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, get yourself a kick-ass t-shirt, go to reaver.1/shop. That's reaver.1. Click on the shop button. Oh, total brain fart. Where am I? Oh, there. Okay. Oh, allergies. And I hate saying that because with the whole Hillary thing, but it's either I got a little bug running. I think I might have a little bug running around my house. Maybe it's pneumonia. Pneumonia is going all around. Now, just my wife's not feeling good. I got the sniffles. I've been tired as anything lately. This one has me kind of... Ouch. Something poking my finger. Rumors are, and it's a left-wing reporter saying that the Democrats are considering meeting to discuss replacing Hillary Clinton on the ticket. Now, it would take Hillary Clinton stepping down. They can't remove her. She would have to step down. And Democrats are reportedly considering an emergency meeting to discuss the possibility of replacing Hillary Clinton on the ticket. Left-wing journalist Dave Schuster reported the news based on conversations with Democratic operatives. Clarification from Dem operatives at Hillary Clinton's pneumonia expected emergency DNC meeting to consider replacement, #Hillary's health. Democrat operative, Hillary Clinton, #basket of deplorables, hiding pneumonia for 3 days plus feigning video equals uncharted political territory. Schuster's tweets gave hope to some Bernie supporters, but it is not clear at this time what activists could do to challenge Clinton's nomination. I don't think there's squat they could do. Never say never, but according to a top Dem, we can make contingencies, argue, plead with Hillary Clinton, but DNC bylaws are clear. Her nominee status now totally up to her. Hillary Clinton is seen as the last candidate standing who can keep the establishment in Washington, D.C. from essentially ruins. But she's having trouble standing. With the near fall of Clinton at the 9/11 tribute ceremony and her aide struggle to get her into her vehicle will live in infamy. It is reported that she is suffering from pneumonia, which is... Again, I'm not a doctor. I've worked medical field for 20-plus years. I don't see how that could be pneumonia that caused her to almost... I'm sure everybody saw... I don't know why all of a sudden I'm getting these fucking dating emails for different ethnicities. And as I unsubscribe from each goddamn one, I get 2 new ethnicities for dating. It's holy shit. And I didn't sign up for any of this crap either. I got a beautiful wife. And realized last night we were married 16 years. 16 years we've been married. But it's felt like 10 minutes of being held underwater. No, I would not give up my marriage for anything. I am happy where I am. And these friggin' emails are annoying as hell. I'm actually trying to clear up my emails from all the crap I get. Holy shit. All right, deal with this later. So I've ordered a new set of earbuds because these headsets that I use are a little big. I like them, but they're a little 1970s. Now, this next article is this one really got my blood pressure up because the Democrats have bitched and moaned about every time something is said that it's an assassination attempt. They're making comments about killing a candidate and it shouldn't happen. What does Bill Mathers do? He starts joking about Donald Trump's assassination. So I hope to God fucking Secret Service is showing up at his goddamn door having a conversation with him. But the presidential race is getting so tight that someone is going to have to go out there and assassinate Donald Trump. Liberal comedian talk show host Bill Maher joked on Saturday. During a stand-up performance at Dar Constitutional Hall in Washington, D.C., the host of HBO's Real Time referred to the release of John Hinckley, the man who attempted to kill President Reagan in 1981, from a psychiatric hospital on Sunday. Mathers went on to say, "I'm nervous with this election," he told the audience. "I saw the headlines today, race tightening, Trump ahead in Ohio and Florida. If this race is even the week before the election, somebody's going to have to go out there. Why do you think they let Hinckley out?" Mathers has repeatedly gone after Trump on his HBO program during this election season, including joking about the candidate's death during a segment in March. The talk show host previously compared Trump to Nazi leader Adolf Hitler, the sign of a weak mind. Despite his apparent disdain for Trump, Mathers predicted in February that Democrats could lose the election to Trump for continuously refusing to say the word Islamic terrorism. Donald Trump is not right, but he will win the election if the American people have to choose between his demagoguery and a party that won't even say the word Islamic terrorism, Mathers said then. "I think Democrats could lose on that issue alone, especially if there's another attack." Mathers appears to have been correct when he said the 2016 race is tightening. As Breitbart News reported Monday, the most recent NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows Trump and Clinton virtually tied in a four key swing states with just 2 months left until Election Day. Well, I don't predict nothing. I could have a 100% win. I could bet on that, and I would lose. Do I feel Trump's going to win this? Yes. I think he's got a larger lead than is being published. I think his numbers are a lot bigger. And a great pundit told me once that the polls way out are always skewed in favor of the Democrats. And as you get closer, you'll start seeing those polls swing to what actually is going on. And if you notice, those numbers have been swinging towards Trump lately. As we get closer, the numbers go more towards Trump. It does help that Trump, well, everybody says it's rhetoric and all that. I don't see it. None of my family sees the rhetoric. It's to us. We're from New Jersey. We're from the Northeast. That's how the frig we talk. It does not faze us. But it seems he's calming down on what and how he says. And yes, he went from having that persona of the apprentice at the beginning of the primaries. And that persona faded pretty quick. That persona he's had to play for years. It takes a little while for something like that to fade away. The man is not what Democrats have. Nothing. That's the problem. They have nothing on this man. So they got to create this false hysteria that he's against immigration. He's not against immigration. Anybody that's heard the speech, and I know liberals that have said he's not against. He wants to put a temporary pause on immigration of Muslims from areas that are high in terroristic activity. Not all Muslims, just Muslims that are in an area with a high concentration of terrorist activity. That's a big difference than what a lot of people are saying. And I see liberals coming to me going, no, that's not what he's saying. He's not saying all Muslims. They're going, I don't know, when did the media start doing this? And I'm looking at them going, they've been doing it for about 8 years now. No, they haven't. You just haven't seen it. This is what's been going on. This is what we have been screaming about, and you've been attacking us for. His conversations about the border, I've had him come up. Hey, he's not saying all Hispanics. But I will say all the Hispanics, or people, anybody, I don't care, Hispanics or what nationality, if you're coming into this country illegally, you are a criminal. And I could justify it easily. They are breaking U.S. immigration laws, which makes you a criminal at that point. And I don't want to hear this shit about compassion. We are a country, we have borders, we have laws. Just as Mexico has laws, and those are worse than ours. At least if you become a U.S. citizen, we treat you as an equal. Go into Mexico. You become a citizen of Mexico, you will be treated as a third-rate citizen. But yet, they're going to run their mouths about how people should be treated? No, that don't work with me. That does not work with me. They have to create issues. There was one or two issues at Trump rallies where someone sucker punched another person. Not right. The Democrat Party staged and helped create riots. But it's Donald Trump who is the one that's violent. It's Democrats can't win on their history. They can't win with what they're trying to do. The only way they can win is through trickery, lies, and deceit. They have to lie and trick people on their past. They have to create false ideology. Oh, there was a party switch in 1960s. Because I've heard it happen in the 60s, the 50s. The number keeps jumping around. But the one thing no one can ever answer me is one simple question. How many Republicans, since there was this big party switch, how many Republicans went over? And tell me, how come there was only like 3-4 Democrats that switched over to the Republican Party? While their KKK Grandmaster stayed with the Democrat Party. And if they had switched and become for the people and for the minorities, why did they allow a Democrat senator who was a KKK member to continue to run? I don't want to hear apologies. That doesn't cut it for what he was a part of. What he was responsible for as a recruiter, as a grand wizard of the KKK. An apology does not cut it. The Democrats have been on the wrong side of history for 100 plus years. But by their rhetoric, they're responsible for everything great in this country. If it wasn't for the Republican, women would not be allowed to vote. Blacks would not be allowed to vote. Blacks would have still, well, maybe not still, but they would have been slaves for a lot longer. The civil rights was because of the Republican Party. There was no switch of the parties. The Republican Party, they've hit some bumps along the line. They've done some stupid shit, yes. No, they don't want to destroy your Social Security. Do they want to fix it where the Democrats have fucked it up? Where Democrats have now allowed where someone comes into the country at the age of retirement can now get Social Security from the United States government without putting day one penny into the system. We have immigrants coming from other countries that come here specifically to retire because their country does not have a retirement plan. So they come here. We have illegal immigrants coming in and getting put on disability and welfare that drains the system, and they've never put day one into the system. Why do they come here? To get that free money. That's what the Republican Party talks about. And if it became widely known that is what they were talking about, it would be the end of the Democrat Party. So they lie and they deceive the people. And for years, the Republican Party said we're going to take the high road. The truth will come through. When the truth is covered in so much lies and deceit, it doesn't work. It's a Democrat Party, which at one time, I don't want to say I was a part of the Democrat Party. I was never registered. I was always the rebel. I was an independent at all times. But I agreed. I bought into a lot of the bullshit. I bought into as I was younger that it's owed to us. The government owes us. Everybody owes us this, that. Government should be controlling everything. And the government was all-knowing, all-seeing. Oh. Kind of grown up since then. Got to see what real life's about. Nobody owes me shit. I got to fight for it. Democrats, whatever happened to them, and one thing is, those hippies of the 60s that wanted to destroy and burn down our country found out they couldn't do it from the outside, so they got a suit and tie, and they are the Democrat Party now. And they're trying to burn down the country from the inside. This has been what they've been after. And if they say history repeats itself, I never thought I'd see history repeat it within my lifetime. And really, I didn't see it directly. I have some memories of the latter part of that. And within the 60s and early 70s, those attacks on our military. I mean, I was born in 71. I still remember hearing on news of soldiers being spit on. And side note, I had some liberals they were spitting on black soldiers. They were spitting on everybody when they came back. It was not a racial thing. It was the Democrats against the military. And what we're seeing is a repeat of the 60s and 70s. Where it's an attack on our military. It's an attack on our law enforcement. But the Democrat Party, whoever's pulling the chains, the racism is out of that party. They didn't want to end the separation in the 60s. They wanted to keep separation going. But what they did now is they've been able to convince a certain black group that separation is a good thing. So now they have this group, BLM, pushing for separation. And you now have colleges offering separate dorms for whites and blacks. I find that appalling. You had some great leaders give their life. And no, I don't know all the names. You had some great leaders to end segregation. Would be rolling over their grave, seeing what is going on with Black Lives Matter, which is nothing more than the modern version of the KKK. The Democrats created a militarized group back in 1800s to intimidate and attack Republican voters. They created it to keep blacks from voting. Well, now they created the Black Lives Matter movement to attack and intimidate Republican voters. And we've seen that at several rallies. They're also trying to intimidate other blacks into not voting Republican. Could have that group been a different group and had a more realistic goal? But I can tell you right now, you can see there is a Muslim underhand, and I'm talking extreme jihadists seems to have gotten into that group too. And they seem to have a hand in with the Democrat Party anymore. And a lot of this is just observations I have from what I've seen. But none of it is going to end well if we don't put a stop to a lot of this bullshit. What Black Lives Matter wants is not justice. It's called revenge. Justice was served. Justice said a lot of those cops were justified in their actions. They want revenge. There's a difference. And certain relatives are lucky because they should be in jail for inciting riots. Because I'll tell you one thing, if it was a Republican that said burn this mother down, you better believe the Democrat Party would have made sure that they were put in jail no matter what color, race, creed, religion. Because if it was a white Christian, they would have made a big stink over that. But they make excuses for Muslims. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Speaker, YouTube, iTunes, and Red Nation Rising Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We're always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
all good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense Show. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the shop button. Pick yourself up a kick-ass t-shirt, survival bracelets, pocket constitution. Many t-shirts to choose from, top to bottom, all top quality. Just go to Reaver.one/shop. That is REAVER.one/SHOP. Oh. Well, we're on the last leg of the show. It's like everybody else. I'm just so tired of all the bullshit. I think this has been one of the worst elections I've ever seen. It's vile, disgusting. It's hard to choose the words. But this past Monday on Fox News Channel, Fox and Friends, weekend host and network commentator Tuck Carlson advised viewers that Democrat presidential nominee Hillary Clinton's perception of Americans was just her world, but that of everyone in her orbit. Her expression of contempt for the middle of the country is a commonplace in the world she lives in. The world he lives in, frankly, the world I live in here in Washington, Carlson said. This is what the elites believe. This is a very common view, and I really hope our viewers don't come away thinking only Hillary Clinton believes this. Everyone in her orbit believes it. And she is giving to the definition of being a bigot. Only her opinion matters. The contempt these politicians have for everybody, if they don't blindly follow them, the attacks they're going to give on you. Nobody has the right to free thought anymore. You have to blindly follow these politicians. And no, Donald Trump is not a politician. Hillary's not going there to run to help the American people. Oh, Senator Cummings is speaking. The man has interfered, leaked, has been inappropriate as a senator so many times. He shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. And it's both Republican and Democrats. They feel they are above the law anymore. And we, the people, have allowed our politicians, both R and D, to become above the law. Now they even get offended if they got to defend themselves for their deplorable, despicable, unreprehensible actions. And as I said at the beginning of the show, I get tired of these committees because all you get is the one side questioning and the other side apologizing. If you want to do government work, you better believe that there's a chance you can get called into one of these committees to answer questions. I don't want to hear, well, you have a life out. No, that is the chance you take doing government work. Just as the chances I took as an EMT, that I can be subpoenaed at any time, whether it was my fault, no fault. They just wanted questions. I could be subpoenaed into a courtroom on any call I was on at any time, and there was not a goddamn thing I would do. And let me tell you, they would never sit there and apologize. Oh, we're sorry, we had to bring you in here. Luckily, I always wrote my reports just right. That I don't think any attorney wanted me in there. I'm just... And sometimes wonder why we have these committees. Nobody answers a goddamn question anymore. No one wants to tell the truth. They want to give you this perception of the truth. Dance around the questions. Dance around the answers. Our government has become a joke anymore. And no, I don't think that just Trump can fix it. I know. The man's good, but that's going to take a hell lot more. It's going to take the American people waking up to what the hell's going on and stepping up and putting an end to this bullshit. And what's funny is recently there was a poll done amongst more minorities about the voter ID. And a majority of them want to see voter ID because it does not stop anybody from voting. Well, it stops people from illegally voting or lessens the chance. But I keep it, well, there's no cases. Bullshit, there isn't. They're now coming across where not only double, but even triple voting people have done. And right now the cases are very trickled here and there where we're finding them. That doesn't mean that they're not happening in mass droves. But you have a 63-year-old Tennessee man voted in the 2012 presidential election not once, not twice, but 3 times in 3 different states. It's not easy to vote twice. It comes down to your honor. Delancey cited the case. It's Jay Delancey. He is executive director of North Carolina Volunteer Voting Watch Group, the Voting Integrity Project, which caught Parker. Delancey cited the case as an example of the kind of voter fraud that some have dismissed as overblown. It's a lot more widespread than what people think, because the general public thinks there is no voter fraud. As proof, they look at prosecutions, but we have learned how difficult it is to get prosecutions. It was Delancey's group that brought Parker's case to the attention of election officials and law enforcement, and Parker is not alone. His was one of 149 cases of suspected double voting Delancey says his group has turned over. In Parker's case, he was charged with voter fraud for votes in the November 6, 2012 presidential election. He voted in person at a polling place in Spring Hill, Tennessee, Authorities say that he was after previously mailing in another voter by absentee ballot in Florida on October 28th, and yet another absentee ballot vote in North Carolina the following day. He pled guilty to felony voter registration and felony voter fraud in Rutherford County, North Carolina last November, and was spared jail time under the law. In Wisconsin, a 52-year-old Robert Monroe was also sentenced to jail earlier this year after he was charged with 13 counts of election fraud, including multiple voting and voting twice in the 2012 president race. Prosecutors say Monroe voted by absentee ballot where he lives in Wisconsin on November 1st, 2012. Then on Election Day, 5 days later, authorities say he drove 4 hours south to Lebanon, Indiana, to vote in person, using his Indiana driver's license to sign in. Even a 2012 Democrat congressional candidate was caught and had to drop out of the race. Party official says candidate Wendy Rosen, who was voting in Maryland's 1st congressional district, had voted twice in Maryland and Florida in 2 separate elections. She pled guilty to voting illegally in 2 elections. And in Cincinnati, voter poll worker Richardson was accused of voting twice in the 2012 presidential election after Hamilton County prosecutor charged her in 2013 with 8 counts of illegally voting over several elections. She pled guilty to 4 counts, and prosecutors said she had even voted in the presidential election for her sister, who had been in a coma for almost a decade. She was sentenced to 5 years in prison, but released early. In Kansas, Lincoln Wilson was also charged with voting in both that state and in Colorado, where records showed he was registered Republican. He was accused of multiple counts stemming from 2010, 2012, and 2014 election. And this past June, it turned out that California presidential primary was not immune to double voting phenomenon. The East Bay Times reported that in just 3 counties, Contra Costa, Alameda, and Santa Clara, 194 people voted twice, suggesting the abuse statewide might run into the thousands. Some suggest the number of potential double voters could be much higher than that. In 2012, Pew Center on the State Study said approximately 2.75 million people have registration in more than one state. Pew said 68,000 people were registered in 3 states, and 1,807 were even registered in 3 states. This is going deeper and worse than anybody actually thought. There is no reason we have to show ID for every goddamn thing else. Jesus Christ, to get into the DNC convention, you have to show an ID. To vote in the DNC primary, you have to show an ID. Why shouldn't you have to show an ID to vote? Several states have it that if you can't afford the fee, they'll waive the $5 fee. They'll work with you on getting the proper documentation so you can prove who you are. You have to have that documentation to prove to get a driver's license. I have to jump through hoops. I did. Even after I had a license. After 9/11, all of a sudden New Jersey said, we got to prove who everybody is. So U.S. citizens are going to have to prove that they're U.S. citizens already. I'd already had my license 10, 15 years, but I had to show it. And it's not that easy with the documents you have to bring in. But you don't have to show any documentation to prove that you are a U.S. citizen to vote in the U.S. elections. We've also seen where Obama has trying to get it so that illegals have a legal right to vote in this country. So why don't we just open it up to everybody in God's creation to vote in our election? Now I'm being sarcastic there. If you are not a U.S. citizen, you have no right voting in our election. See, Democrats have no problem with it because it's the only way they could win is by getting others to vote for them. They need voter fraud to help stay in office. They need to hide and lie about information to stay in office. Because if the truth of what they were really up to and about came out, they would never win in another election. The truth about the Democrat Party was made 100% to the public. The Democrats would never win another goddamn election. In fact, a majority of them would be put in jail. It is appalling what goes on in our politics anymore. Our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves of what they see from the Democrat Party. So I reported yesterday that there was a fire at the Orlando terrorist shooter, Mateen's, the mosque that he regularly went to, burned down, caught on fire. It did it shortly after midnight on Monday morning, evidently serious enough for flames to be seen from outside the building. This was the mosque attended by Omar Mateen, the mass murderer who attacked the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. The terrorist attack. The authorities quickly determined that the fire was intentionally set. Now, let's wait for the left media to start blaming whites, Christians, and conservatives. I'm not going to rule out that it's not some extreme group, but I'm also not going to rule out that it wasn't a member of the mosque itself. They have gotten caught several times burning down their own mosque to try to get sympathy for their cause. They have video of someone approaching the east side of the building, and immediately after the individual approached, a flash occurred and the individual fled the area. And this one bothers me. The St. Lucie County Sheriff, Major David Thompson, his department has now asked the FBI and BATF to assist in the investigation, and said technicians were currently working on cleaning up the surveillance video so it could be released to the public. Why does he need the FBI coming in on this? Why does there need federal oversight into a local matter? The Orlando Sentinel reports that although leaders at the Islamic Center have said that since the nightclub shooting, the facility has received threats and that security had been stepped up. Thomas said his department had received no recent threats and described condition in the area leading up to the 9/11 anniversary as peaceful. A fire at any place of worship is alarming, regardless of the circumstances. This is a tragic, terrible tragedy, not only for the Islamic Center, but for our community. The Palm Beach Post quotes Thomas saying it is way too early to connect the fire at the Islamic Center to Mateen or 9/11. You know, that's always a conclusion that someone could jump to. As I said, at this point, we're unsure even if the cause of fire is. So I wouldn't want to speculate whether or not this was related or unrelated. And it is what it is. We'll find out as the investigation goes on If it is someone trying to take revenge, they should be punished. And if it is a Muslim trying to get sympathy, they should be punished. And real quick before the end of the show, we're running down on time. The 9/11 memorial was trashed. Flags thrown in the garbage at Obama's college. A memorial produced by college Republicans at Occidental College, Barack Obama's alma mater, to pay tribute to the lives lost in 9/11 terrorist attacks, was vandalized on Saturday night, with vandals also putting up posters attempting to shame the victims of the tragedy. This is what the Democrat Party is about. They don't want you memorializing the victims. They want you shaming the victims, blaming the victims. Occidental College is a liberal arts school in Los Angeles and was an arrangement of 2,997 American flags, one for each life lost in the attack. However, the group revealed on Saturday that the memorial had been destroyed as they discovered vandals crushed, snapped, and threw in the garbage every single flag. Today is meant to be a day of respect and remembrance for all the victims and honor and heroes of 9/11. Last night, our club sponsored a memorial for 2,997 who died exactly 15 years ago. Students of all backgrounds came out and planted 2,997 American flags in our quad here at Incidental. By the time the vandals were finished, not one flag was left in the ground. The protesters also put up posters and flyers that shamed the victims of 9/11 and came back for a second round of vandalism after the group rebuilt the memorial. Members of the Republican group had stood by the flags until early hours of the morning, but woke up the next day to find that the vandals had removed a further 50 flags. When they confronted them, the cowards got away as fast as they possibly could, just like liberals to run away and hide. It is appalling that we can't even pay tribute to those that died. We're not even talking to military. We're talking about innocent civilians that were working. Innocent civilians that were working got murdered by Muslim terrorists. And we're supposed to shame them? I wish that group would have the balls to stand up and come out in public. No, they got to hide in the shadow. Well, I'm going to bite my tongue there. I see that still to this day, 9/11 brings out the best in people, and it brings out the scummiest of the people, like that group that decided to trash a memorial to those that are dead. I noticed they have to hide in the shadow. They can't come out in the public. Have the balls to stand up to what you did. Don't hide, you pussies. With that, I want to wish everybody a great day. Thank you for listening. I'm honored. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'll be back tomorrow, 11 o'clock. I thought I changed that. Damn it. I'm going to go back to bed. Have a good day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.